I lived for a while in Stornoway. So as Christmas was approaching, I was heading down to the lowlands to spend time with family. I got up on a Saturday morning, got the ferry across to Ullapool and got on the bus. As it was a Saturday morning, just before Christmas, the bus was absolutely full with shoppers heading into Inverness to get the last minute Christmas shop. So we started off, and for 5 or 10 minutes, the chatter of people around me was just a noise. Until from behind me I heard someone say, "Mr. Tracy." Well, it turned out there was 2 high school kids behind me, and they were discussing their tests, their teachers, who they liked, who they didn't. And I heard all this because Mr. Tracy was the name of one of their teachers, and Mr. Tracy is also my name. I heard it and I couldn't help listening. And then I faded back out again. The talking continued for a while. But then again, one of them said Mr. Tracy, and I suddenly could not help but hear the conversation and hear what they were talking about, because they had got my attention with my name. But there was a little bit more to it than that, if I'm honest. Because the third time they mentioned Mr. Tracy, they said something rather uncomplimentary about my little brother, who teaches in Ullapool High School. At which point I simply said, "Mr. Tracy's brother's sitting right in front of you, by the way." And that shut them up. But the thing here is that in English, we don't have a difference between talking to someone and talking about someone. So when you say my name, I'm going to pay attention because I'm going to think, oh, maybe they're talking to me. I'm sure it's happened to you before as well. Someone has said your name at a table behind you in a pub. They might be talking about a different person who just happens to have the same name. But you hear your name, your ears prick up, as they say, and you turn around and say, "Sorry." And they say, "What? Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me." It's happened to all of us, but we don't really think about it. It's just something normal. Gaelic's a bit different though, because in Gaelic you do make a difference between talking to someone and talking about someone. You may well have seen this already. The so-called vocative case. So my name in Gaelic is Niall, but if you address me, you would say Anail or possibly Anil, depending on where you're from. Now, to a native Gaelic speaker, this is so intuitive. If someone says Anail or Anil, then that will grab their attention if they're called Neil. But if you just say Neil, they won't for a minute think that someone's talking to them. Now, this vocative case confuses people for 2 reasons. 1, because it's different from English, but 2, because it has a rather unhelpful name. Vocative doesn't actually mean anything. Not in English, or modern English anyway. But we have related words. The most related, I would think, would be vocation. You may have heard teaching or medicine, nursing, careers like that. You may have heard them referred to as a vocation. And you might not know what that means, but you may also have heard them referred to as a calling. Well, it just so happens that vocation is Latin for calling. The vocative case is the case that does calling. Now in English, if we think about calling, we might be thinking about oi or hey, where you would say, oi Neil, or hey Neil, to get my attention from far away. But in Gaelic, it's not about distance. It's simply the action of getting someone's attention. Because if you say, a nail, you will get my attention because I know you're talking to me. Doesn't work the same way if you just say Neil. Because then, well, maybe you will get my attention, but it's different because I think you're talking about me.